Okay, almost on time. 3 p.m. CET, 4 p.m. Eastern European time. Hello, everybody. We are here today for the fire pitch with our Hamburg-based German startup PAULI & Co. In case you are wondering about the faces you see here, we have a small sickness leave. Nico, as the founder, basically is tied to his bed with a flu. That happens these days, but nevertheless, we have his wife Elisabeth here, who is the co-founder of PAULI & Co. And we have Helge as basically their first investor and somebody who has been with the company from the outside. Now, Elisabeth, can you hear and say a test word or something? Hello, hello?
It does not seem to work on your end.
That's not a big deal. Helge, since I know you can deliver the pitch perfectly as well, we're going to do it like this, and Elisabeth can jump in whenever she sees fit. Small housekeeping. My name is Ronald. I'm the regional manager for DACH at SeedBlink Group. For the ones who don't know me yet, this call is recorded as always because it's rarely the case that all of our investors will make it to the call, all of our registered investors, but we want to make sure that everybody who is interested in potentially investing in PAULI can have a look at the video later on, and everybody who has been registered for today's call will receive the link and the recording accordingly. Now, in order to keep it efficient, I would say without further ado, I hand over to Helge and Elisabeth. Once we can hear you want to say something, feel free to jump in.
Yeah.
And Helge, I would ask you to keep the call short. Elisabeth, good to see you. And curious to hear the story from your words, how PAULI & Co. or how you came up with the Garo story for PAULI & Co., especially against the background that you had twins yourself and you know what it means to have crying babies and how to keep them or how to make them calm and quiet. Okay, Helge, please, stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Not sure, Elisabeth, are you able to hear us and
Yes.
speak?
Yes.
Okay, there we are. Perfect. So welcome, Elisabeth. Welcome, everyone in the call from Helge. From my side, Elisabeth, stage is yours. Tell us about how Nico and you founded that company, PAULI & Co.
Helge, I have a small issue. I'm not sure how I can share the presentation.
No problem. And maybe you can just introduce yourself. And,
Oh, sorry.
as we've already, I'll share my screen. I hope
Perfect.
it works. Share my screen, and then we go to full view mode. And there we are. And there we are. And I hope that everyone is now able to see my screen. Does it work?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And okay. So PAULI & Co. for the little one.
Thank you. Yeah, PAULI & Co. for the little ones. Yeah, also a big thank you from my side that you're joining this fire pitch. Yeah, why did we founded PAULI & Co.? It was because we became parents to twins, and then we bought one of those hammocks, and it really saved our lives. Because when you have twins, you have two babies, and if one is starting crying and then the other one is starting, so it was a big relief that we had this hammock. And then when we were using it, we were quite happy, but we were also thinking, okay, we are not so sure about the quality of this hammock, and maybe we can do something more fancy. So we founded PAULI & Co. PAULI is an abbreviation or the nickname of my daughter. She's called Pauline, so you see us all here, the whole gang. And then we started creating this product, and to help parents, and to also that we wanted them also to have a relaxed life, or some moments which are more relaxing. And but one key USP was the motor, and that was one of the USPs, which is as you see here, it's steered by an app, so you can use your iPhone, and it's also made of, the housing is 3D printing. So it was also very important for us that there's not so much plastic in use when we started the creation of this product. So we were also not, for us it was important not only having good material, we also wanted to have also the sustainability aspect in there as well. Sorry, I'm a bit excited. It's my first pitch. Yeah. So
and maybe it's something just to add here. I mean,
yeah,
it's just said. So the beauty of those technologies that are used for the production were rapid prototyping via 3D printing, which allows us to quickly and easy to fit, adapt the designs of the product. And as Elisabeth said, it's in hardware, software, app combination, which is one of the USPs. So the first company on the market that presented this combination to app control that motor. And as you can see here, and sorry, that's why I'm sharing the screen, it makes it a bit easier for me. On the right side, you see our app motor, and here you see this tripod, and the motor is placed on top of the hammock, of the cradle, as you can see here on the right side with a metal tripod. But the beauty is really you can sit in the living room and on the couch and watch a movie whilst your child, your baby, your newborn sleep in the cradle, which is positioned in the sleeping room. That is actually the beauty. You can seamlessly control the movement, which is a smooth swinging mode of the hammock just in the mother's, like it mimics more or less the movement in a mother's womb. Yeah, so that's actually the key idea of this USP. So an app, software integrated system, and as Elisabeth just said, it's the whole approach was right from scratch based on the sustainability of the materials that are used and also the packaging. Maybe you just want to take over. Sorry for interrupting, but sustainability at the heart of the whole product.
Exactly. It was quite also important to integrate this sustainability aspect. So we are trying to avoid plastics. So I mean, we all see this in our daily lives. When we ordered something, then we have a handful of plastic bags and we throw it in the bin. And I don't know about you, but I think this does not give you a good feeling. We are trying to avoid this. And then the materials we're using, sorry, can you go back? Thank you. The materials we are using, they're also certified, Ecotech certified, so that you can really put your baby into the hammock with a very good feeling. And so nothing would harm the baby's health. It was also important about the other features, like this button, which is made of a coconut. So really trying to avoid as much plastic as possible. We also tried at the beginning to get the wool from the sheep from a farmer. So we went there and collected all the wool. We brought this then to another company where it was all washed and cleaned. But this was has already changed because there was a lot of effort. But we also, for us, it's also important the social engagement. So we work together with the hospital in Lübeck, and with them we developed a baby hammock, which can be also used in hospitals and is matching their standards.
You just say click and then I'll go to the next slide. Yeah?
Okay, thank you. Right, and here we have a product portfolio where we think it would be also give us an advantage to our competitors. So we are thinking it might be good to have, for example, a basic line where you have a simple hammock, a motor which is not which is a basic motor, not used with electricity. Yeah, then sorry, to decline that. Then the second line would be a smart version where you then have more colors which you can choose of. You have the tripod smart, and then it's also again remote. There you have then so kind of going up to have a better product so that you can so it's have several lines which you can offer to the clients. And the last one would be the one for the luxury lover, so everything what you could wish for. So again, the hammock, but then you have a motor where you can also integrate Spotify, then sensors for the baby monitoring, and okay, and can click to the next. Thank you. And this is what we have with, this is more like an outlook to the future, what we would integrate. So as I just mentioned, Spotify, so you can also have attractive noises for the baby, which would calm down the baby. You could integrate it with Alexa. Then the baby health monitoring, which you have today in hospitals, so you could still monitor the health of the baby, and still in case there's a need for it. So that would be the outlook for the future. And here you see the team page. This is our team, different experts for certain areas, marketing, then for Google, Facebook, and but I still have to mention that not all of them are on our payroll, so only that you have a picture who's in our team doing what.
Excellent. Yeah, and maybe that's also the point. I came into the company. I know Nico and Elisabeth since many years, since more than 10 years. Nico approached me 2.5 years ago. I'm the first angel investor. And Nico, right from scratch, when he came up with the idea to found this company, we started soundboarding the idea. I helped here and there. It's always been a great pleasure. And then I finally became convinced that I would like to invest in the company, to bring it to scale. And as Elisabeth said, so there's an excellent team, and it's definitely a digital retail play to sell this product in the market. We tried different ideas and lots of learnings, and also with digital marketing agencies here and there, we saw a number of pitfalls, but from all of these lessons learned, we finally came to two brothers, which have helped us just during the Black Week of last year in November to double year over year our monthly revenue. So it's definitely finally the right agency you're working with. In the mid to long term, we will also think about insourcing the marketing capability via a chief marketing officer, but that's something we really want to focus on once the company is brought to a higher scale. Looking at the market, and I'll sum it up, the whole pitch in the next 3-4 minutes. It's the total addressable market here. Looking at the German market, 2.8 billion is a classical shopping cart of all parents with newborns in Germany. Looking at the on the left side here, 2.8 billion, which parents spend on furnishing, on strollers, baby clothes, food, breastfeeding, and everything through the first year. So if you break this down into the different products of footwear and furniture, etc., then the number of first births are around 800 in the first year, 525 first birth in German households. If you break this down, that around 1/3 of those households purchase a new baby cradle, and around 50% of these are today already spring cradles. So it's a product that is increasingly getting into the people's awareness, that it's something that really helps parents to ease that pain of sleepless nights. We see a great potential for PAULI & Co. to sell around 35,000 chipsets a year, which would be a market penetration of 20 to 25% within the next 5 years at a compound annual growth rate of around 10%. So there's huge potential. This total addressable market just in the what we call DACH region, which is Germany for D, A, Austria, and CH for Switzerland. The addressable market for spring cradles only is around 30 to 40 million per year, which corresponds to around 100 to 120,000 chipsets of those spring cradles. So with the most innovative product in the market, with the USPs that Elisabeth has just shown to us, and lots of competitive advantages, plus the potential to further expand the product portfolio, plus the ability, and we have already reached out via our distribution network to also grow internationally beyond the DACH region of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. We've already started reaching out into the UK, France, and Europe, and even to South Korea and Japan. We could scale globally our distributor network, because we are also sourcing internationally from Asia and Eastern Europe. So there's great potential to also upsell and cross-sell into those regions. Yeah? Sustainability, as said, is at the heart of our product. If we're looking back at the history of the company and also at the financials, so the key message here, and you have the investment memorandum in your hands. So what we want to say here is through the last 4.5 years, we've been able, and that's the green curve here, to constantly grow our market share, and we're cash positive. That is also one of the key messages. Since I was able to join the company, we were finally able to increase our sales volumes from around 50 to 81,000 in net sales per month in November, December, further growing. So once we're able to secure an investment via this round, that's exactly where we see the forecast. Obviously, there is, if we're able to secure around 1 million in funding via this investment round, where around 250 will be limited to SeedBlink, Ronald more to share in the Q&A session. We see a negative EBITDA in the first year after the investment, when we're able to use those funds to scale and boost the product sales in the market. And then we see a constant growth through the next years. So where would we use those funds and what are we actually pitching for? The total investment round will be encompassing around 1 million euros, and we are willing, with a pre-money valuation of 2 million and a post-money valuation of 3 million, if we're able to secure 1 million in funding, we'll use that 1 million. We would also use it in the same ratios, around 2/3 in growth capital, which is directly linked to advertise spends, influencer marketing, the generation of new content. Also, what we might have just seen in the newsletter, we are currently launching a new sales channel via Shopify on all mobile devices and desktop versions for this really state-of-the-art. Shopify is the state-of-the-art retail solution on digital marketing, and we would use around 150K and 100K for product optimization and inventory financing, plus the outsourcing to best cost countries. For instance, we have a quote for a professional engine manufacturer, which might also further help us to not only produce and manufacture and assemble the engine, the motor, the electric motor in Germany, but to also outsource parts of the assembly line, which is to some extent driving further bottom line protection and war on cost. So that is what we would use. Some pictures from the current workshop where Elisabeth is based right now, and some further pictures from the product, but we are glad and happy to receive your questions.
All right. Thank you, Elisabeth. Thank you, Helge, for this concise pitch. As always, the floor is open. Any questions you may have, you may ask via the chat function or directly. And since I know it's always good to break the ice a bit, I collected a couple of questions that I received from investors in the background, so to say, and I think it's worth sharing with all of you. So I'm starting off with the first question, which is, Where exactly are the hammocks produced, and how do you stand out vis-a-vis competition? And in that respect, do you also have a competitive price vis-a-vis competition?
I think I can take that question on the financial part. So initially, when the company was founded, the value creation was taking place to 100%, up to 100% in Germany. So over time, when we scaled the product in the market, we recognized and acknowledged that in the mid to long term, this will not be financially sustainable and viable, which is why we started to increasingly outsource portions of the production and the material sourcing into best cost countries, but always bearing in mind that the whole supply chain needs to be sustainable. So we are sourcing from Eastern Europe pre-assembled parts of the hammocks, for instance, and the final assembly, including the engine, the electric motor, is still done in Germany. But in the mid to long term, as mentioned before, the idea is also to further outsource and to take whole packages of the outsourcing. So for instance, the motor itself could be well outsourced, but I mean, this is obviously a sensitive matter because it's a core intellectual property. So it needs, and the quality needs to be 100%. So that's why we are doing this sensitively only over time. So we would use fractions of the production capacity and transition it in a smooth way, not from one day to another. So we have good experience with this strategy, but obviously there's potential to further optimize the bottom line. Also, compared to some of our competitors in the market, we are very cash efficient and effective. For instance, the non-recurring cost of the motor development on our side were less than a quarter of the development cost of one of the competitors who started to copy our product, which cost them more than 1 million euros for their motor. So we did it with significantly less non-recurring cost expenditure.
Very well. Lingering on the statement that you made before, and that you are cash flow positive, i.e. you could self-sustain the company. Question in that respect from one of our investors: how big is the current core team? I mean, who is actually on the payroll, and how would this change going forward, assuming you close the current round at 1 million? So how many? I guess the question is, what's the current core team? What is it going to look like after the funding round? Where do you basically put the resources?
So the current core team encompasses with part-time, full-time equivalents. So it's shared via different heads. So we have headcounts of around 10 people who are working particularly in the final assembly and the preparation of shipping and logistics. But this is scattered over full-time equivalents of around 3 people. So these are the people that are really on the payroll based in Germany. Everything else is sourced internationally. How would that develop over time? Also, maybe just to draw a comparison to one of our larger German competitors that have already a market share of 20%. They have a payroll of more than 30 full-time equivalents in Germany. And that's definitely not the way that we want to, how we want to pursue the scaling of our product internationally. So we'll definitely have a core team of business developers, and the retail expertise will sit in Germany. So over time, we believe that the payroll will encompass 5 to maximum 10 people. Yeah? And that should really enable us to get to the addressable market share of 20-25%. So the idea is not to scale it endlessly, but to keep it really very lean.
Got it. A different question I have here collected is with respect to competition again, but this is not with respect to your competing companies, but rather competing technologies, in a sense that what technologies, or where do you see competition outside of the obvious ones, the obvious competing companies, somebody else doing hammocks with motor and stuff, but like what other technologies are there that you see that compete with you? Or I guess it's a bit of a holistic question from, I assume, somebody who has kids as well.
Yeah. Basically, it's always a product that you invest in when you have children yourself, because then it jumps to your mind and comes to your eyes. Man, I would have loved to have this product in my hands back at the days when I was just getting parent. The thing is, Nico is an expert in this market, and he's been attending also expositions and fairs in the market, and he's constantly observing his competitive landscape around PAULI and Co. And interestingly, there have been a couple of copycats in the market who try to also copy our idea, and you can see it there in the background of Elisabeth. The thing is, they were not able to copy the quality, and also the long-term testing campaigns. So it's severe testing that this product has gone through. And some guys have come up with completely interesting concepts. For instance, they use the stroller and a sort of an exciter motor, which starts to shake the whole stroller. But then at the end of the day, you need to leave the baby in the stroller all the time. And also something, you don't want to take the dirty stroller, carry it up through the staircases in your home, and maybe you don't have a lift or something, yeah? And then the stroller needs to stay downstairs, or you don't want to take the dirty stroller and get it into your home, into your living room. And there are so many impediments, and while these solutions are also certainly not the ones that will prevail in the market. Otherwise, I think other people would have come up with this idea before, to use this shaker sort thing that you attach to the stroller, and then all of a sudden, the whole stroller starts to shake. Yeah. So you can come up with great ideas. The thing is, it took 5 years to place the product and to prove also the product market fit. And we believe we seem to be on the right track.
Very well. Question on the traction. So what were you actually, because I think you've shown it in the charts, but for somebody who might have seen it for the first time, it was a bit too quick to spot that. What were your actual revenues in 2024? How are they distributed over the year, in brackets, Christmas business, question mark, brackets closed? And what do you expect in terms of revenues for 2025?
Excellent question. So the year 24, we were able to secure around 450,000 in net sales. And the distribution around Christmas, including the Black Week, which was the best Black we had so far, was that we were able to have net sales of around 150,000 in those 2 months. Which is a combination of two effects. First of all, obviously, Christmas and Black Week. Second of all, the collaboration with those marketing geniuses, those two brothers from the companies called Wundervoll, which means wonderful, a German word. And as I mentioned before, I mean, startups, they stumble, they fall, they get up again, and we learn, yeah? So, and we completely admit the learning journey and the learning curve was really a steep one for us to understand how to place the product in the market. We initially also experimented with hardware retail stores, yeah, on the ground in different markets, in baby shops, baby retail stores in Germany. And one of the initial ideas 2 years ago was also to possibly equip hundreds of markets over Germany and Switzerland with those products, with a shop-in-shop solution. Luckily, we finally decided it's a complete online retail play, but you need to find the right people that help you to get this to scale. So the second effect was literally that Wundervoll, those guys, two brothers, they developed the right marketing content to address buyers of the product with the right messaging, plus to use the right algorithms to make best use of your advertised spend. One of the KPIs in which you measure the success of your advertised spend is the so-called ROAS, which the acronym stands for Return on Advertisement Spend. So we were able to get that KPI from initially 1 to 2 up to 5 to 6 on average. And we are still able, it's a sustainable KPI that we were able to secure after we jumped from different previous marketing agencies with a lot of pitfalls. to this final marketing agency. So it's an overlay. So that's why the forecast for 25, coming back to the last part of the question, is that we want to secure 2 million euros in revenues, which is still a conservative assumption. The current numbers speak that we will definitely be able to do that. But one of the prerequisites is also to secure additional funding. It's self-sustaining as the business as it stands today, but to get it to a higher market growth and to secure higher margins of the market, we definitely want to inject more advertisement into this growth story. Hope that answers the question, please. Otherwise,
yes, that was exhaustive and comprehensive. One more question I have on my list. It's a very short and precise one. What's the unit price of a hammock in the standard version?
The unit price of the hammock in the standard version is, let me just quickly double check. So the basic set, and that's also maybe something, let me share my screen again with you. I think that illustrates it very well, where the margin sits of our product. Sorry, I just need to jump back here. Share my screen, and then I hope I'm able to share again. I hope you can see my screen now.
It's coming. Yeah.
Full screen. And maybe that's also the direct answer to the question where the margin sits. So this is the basic set, and that's the almost the premium set, but it's a more value-adding version. It's not yet even the premium set, but the higher you're in the premium range, the higher the margins are. So what we're reflecting here is the production cost, and here the added up material costs for a premium, for a basic set, which is around 130 euros. We can further lower the bottom line, as explained initially, via further outsourcing and increasing the volumes. So price volume matrices are obviously pre-negotiated with our current suppliers. So the gross sales price would be 500 euros. And obviously we are offering it at an average discount during the Black Week of 30, even with portions of the product portfolio up to 40%. So we want, via smart digital marketing, we want to minimize the discount factors. But as you can see, the margin sits between 130 material cost and 500. So the gross profit margin is around 163. Gross profit 2 is around 146, which is further increased with the augmented product sets. So we clearly believe that per ship set of one sold unit, tripod, motor, and hammock, we easily can achieve gross margins of 200 to 300 euros. Yeah, because if this is a wooden premium set, that's the metal set, which is rather low cost. But here on this slide, you can see the wooden oak based set. There you can even further increase the margin to 200 to 300 euros per ship set.
Very well. Any questions from the audience? Not so far. People are a bit shy today. It's Monday. In that case, I asked the questions that I collected from investors bilaterally and some that approached me bilaterally. I don't want to stretch it too long. All the information and updated information is found on our platform. PAULI & Co. is still raising there, available on SeedBlink 100K as we speak. And obviously there's also talks in parallel going on with other investors, I understand. So please check out the platform. In case you want to invest, you can do it there fully online. The recording will be sent to everybody who registered for this fire pitch. And I would like to thank Elisabeth and Helge for the time. And I would personally like the message to be sent to Nico that he should get well soon. And he's not the only one I'm speaking recently who is tied to his bed. So get well soon, Nico, from me and hopefully on behalf of all of us. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of the week. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.